Welcome here. My name is Terry. I am a fitness coach, and today's topic is healthy habits and how we can bring more healthy habits so that life is more manageable. How we deal with stress, how we deal with the foods that we need to be eating, the drinks that we need to drink. How are we conversating even with ourselves? You know, are we exercising? Do we need to exercise? Now, all of these things are components of having or living a healthy and balanced life. It's not a matter of being perfect, you know, instead of finding ways of managing everyday life. And for me, I stopped smoking. I used to smoke a lot. I used to drink lots of fizzy drinks. The way I used to eat, as well, my eating habits are a lot different now. And I just like to encourage those around me to really look at the food they eat and the drink they drink, because these things actually have effect on us years down the line. Okay, when I was a young girl, I used to eat a lot of sweets, and I used to, like back then, sweets were 1 pence. So imagine for £1, I can get 100 sweeties, and I used to do that, and different ones too. And I used to do that daily. Okay, as long as I had money, I'll be buying my sweets. Now, how that affected me is through my teeth. Okay, my teeth have fillings in, aluminium at that, and I have lots of sensitivity, and it's just not good. It's not good. It's not a good thing. So I often encourage my children or anyone around me, look after your teeth, because you know what, they are important things, and you don't need fillings. Okay, it also has, sweets has affected me years down the line by causing a bacterial infection called Candida. Now, I didn't know that's what the problem was until later on. How did I even figure that out? I don't remember how, but I remember learning that sugar makes the yeast in the body erupt. You know, the yeast love sugar. You see, like when you're baking and you're making donuts or whatever recipe that involves yeast, you would add the sugar and more water to the yeast, right? And when you leave the dough mixture, whatever it is, that makes the sugar would make the yeast activate as well as warm water. That happens in the body. Well, to my understanding, that is what happened to me, and I had a reoccurring issue of Candida. So I realized, okay, I need to minimize the sweets. I need to take away the sweets. And I started drinking water and cranberry juice, mostly cranberry juice, because back then I was a fizzy drinker. I just loved fizzy drinks. And then I introduced my body to cranberry juice. I learned that cranberry juice is able to flush the urinary tract and regain a pH balance. And that did help. Cotton clothing, loose clothing, you know, and air, all of that helped. And I realized, okay, sugar is the culprit. Now when I mean sugar from the sweets, sugar from the fizzy drinks, and any sugar that's just compiling and not being properly metabolized in the system. And yeah, when I figured that out, I was like, yeah, I got this now, I know what to do. So you see, foods have effect on us, not today, not just today, but tomorrow and years to come. So how should we better take care of ourselves? And it is through nutrition. Now we have 7 essential nutrients that our bodies need, and that is water, carbohydrates, fats, protein, fiber, vitamins and minerals. And all these things work together for the body's good, right? Works for the blood, works for the energy, works for digestion, works for metabolism, works to maintain the bodily functions at optimum capacity. What I've learned also is that the foods that we eat, if we're eating vegetables and fruits, they don't actually contain energy. They are the body's helper. But what they do during the process is that they help to release the energy from the foods that we eat, so that it can do what it's supposed to do. So it's not that we can't have sweets or chocolates or ice cream, but that's not the go-to foods. Obviously, we know that when we're eating fruits and vegetables, those are what's going to help our bodies thrive. Now I've gone way off of what I was supposed to be talking about. Healthy habits. How do we introduce healthy habits? Now I look at it, if we have lots of bad habits or 3 bad habits, if we smoke, if we eat lots of sweets and drink lots of fizz, let's look at those 3. We can substitute them with healthy options. Chocolate, if we eat a lot of milk chocolate, maybe an alternative could be dark chocolate. And not as often as you would eat regular chocolate, because dark chocolate has health properties. If we are used to drinking fizzy, take the fizzy down a notch. If you have fizzy every day, 5 days, 7 days a week, break it down to 3 days a week. And you can even have a fast of fizz. And if you take 3 days out, have a fast of a fizz, your body will learn what it's like without fizz. And you've introduced fruit juice, or you replace your fizzy drinks with fruit juice or water, especially if you're on a fast. Water and freshly made fruit juices are the go-to as well. And your body will be like, okay, this is a new way. Oh, what's going on here? And then 3 days, in my experience, it has taken 3 days for my body to be like, okay, I don't really need this thing. I don't really need fizzy. I don't really need to smoke. And I've done a 13-day fruits and vegetable fast, and it took 3 days for my body to regain energy. I did begin to feel like weak, because my body registered that, okay, there's something going on here. I didn't have the regular food that I usually ate, all the drinks I usually drank, and it was the third day. I went to the shops. I bought some grapes, mangoes, strawberries, apples. I bought a whole load of fruits, and I blended those up and I drank and ate those, and I had my bowls of salad. The salad is actually called When Hunger Strikes because it was packed with all sorts, and it really did help. But my body was actually able to register, okay, this is new, this is good, let's do it on the third day, fourth day, fifth. I regained energy, and it was, I felt lighter. I felt lighter and stronger. Concentration was better. I'm the cook around the house, and so I was also able to cook without tasting the food. You know, everyone wasn't doing what I was doing, but I still had to provide. So I still was able to cook, and everyone could still enjoy what they usually did. And then I also introduced quinoa to my family as well, and they really liked it for the day. But you know, that's how healthy habits starts, with one thing, and then it will trickle over to another healthy habit. But obviously sometimes we fall back and we're like, oh, I can't be bothered to do this. That happens sometimes. Don't worry about that. What we need to know is that we can improve what goes in our system, because we should. As long as we have breath, we should look after our bodies, our temple, as much as we can. Smoking. Now for me, I was smoking for a very long time, and it took a few weeks before the final decision that I'm going to stop, where I was like, okay, I'm going to imagine that I'm doing these things, I want to do these things, I had goals, but what was happening was the smoke was getting in the way. I couldn't concentrate. I always needed to smoke. I need to have some smoke. And so I made the decision, okay, I'm going to smoke. I'm not going to smoke. And I prayed. And the day I had one, and then I stopped. And it was difficult at first. And it's the same. This time it was a 5-day process. 3 days, I was like, okay, I'm on the third day. Let's continue. I continued onto the 5 days. And on the 5th day, I was like, okay, I don't need that. And I created dance routines. And when I was creating them, the focus was better. I could remember what move comes next. Normally I'm so buzzy and like, oh my gosh, what did I just do? But I made room for concentration and muscle memory and just overall fitness. It really does take one step at a time. And it will be worth it. It is worth it, always worth it, always worth it when it comes to looking after yourself, you know. And those are the healthy habits, those are ways how I introduce healthy habits. So I made the decision, and I was disciplined in my decision and dedicated to continue on that path of developing along the healthy habits stage. And healthy habits don't just revolve around eating and drinking. You know, it's attitude, it's mindset. You know, there's healthy habits have it's a big subject, shall I say? I can say it like that. So what are the 3 things that you would like to improve? What are the 3 habits that you would like to introduce? Is it exercise? Is it food? Is it drink? Mindset? Let me know in the comments. I can help with meal planning, with nutritional advice, goal setting. So one-to-one coaching is available here, and I'll see you in the next one. Let's move it.